I'm on the corner of Nivison Street in Box Hill, and in the distance I can hear sheep, I can hear cars, but what I can see is all of the changes that are occurring around here. So this is what used to be farmland only a few years ago, and there's plenty of farmland still here, is quickly turning into the spread of Sydney's suburbia. And if we look across the road, so we've got farms down there, we've got buildings on the far side, so that's on the other side of the block, and here on this side of the block you can see all the pink and white markers where there's going to be more buildings, more lots. Lot 31. So make a video like this, not really for now but for later on, so that people, you know, who move into the area go, oh my god, you know, that's what it looked like. And it's not going to take that long before it looks completely different. So we've got a lot more finished houses or semi-finished houses on this side of the street. So there's Nivison, just so you can get your bearings. Up the hill there's actually quite a bit that's complete, so you can see all the cars there. But yeah, we're moving down into these areas here, so it's very kind of hodgepodge as bits and pieces been done. But yeah, there is still those little remnants of farmland here and there. There's you know, all the old trucks and farm machinery on that big property just there on the top of the hill. But yeah, I'll take a bit of a look around, film some footage. I think this will be interesting for people to look back on in years to come. Still, you need to get about a block away, and stuff is pretty well complete in some of these streets, but then we're coming back. So it's just really interesting what a sort of patchwork of development you get. So you've still got vacant lots, you got places like this one still being built. This place looks like it's already finished as well. And then more, and really what I am noticing is really different architectural styles side by side. In a lot of the estates you see that it's kind of like a whole lot of houses that look the same. So I'm guessing lots of different builders. Yes, this one, once again, those are a little bit more like what's common for the area. We'll see how that one turns out. I also like to play this game where you go out and you run all the streets in a local area. It marks it off your map. So there are places where you'll go and you'll find a street that's like 30 odd kilometers long. But here we are, and I'll turn the camera around. Assuming this one's already marked up, I'm not going to find a shorter street than this. So obviously incomplete at this point. But yeah, that's one of the odd things when you come into an area like this. You know, you get this bit's being marked up and that bit's been marked up, and the assumption I assume from the developers at some point this road's going to continue through. But right now is a literal road to nowhere. So you go, it's interesting. It's a street that from that point is pretty much done. But just here at the end tip of the street, the last 4 properties are all still being built. So you just get these areas, these 2 obviously just finished, on the market, sold. And then, without trying to get my shadow, we got the gates. So when these areas are under construction, they just put cyclone fence up everywhere. So when I've run here in the past, this literally were the points at which I could usually get as far as. And then as construction finishes, they open them up and the roads open up. And what's quite funny is in a lot of places you can actually see a difference in the colour of the bitumen where those fences were, because they either laid the road later, the next part, or one bit of it just copped such heavy traffic for 3 or 4 years until they opened the gate and opened up the other section. So it's like a cool little interesting thing. People are wondering, you know, at some point in the future, why is the road a different colour here? That's definitely the reason why, certainly in this area. So one thing you'll notice around here is that you'll see different colours along the road going across the road against where the direction of the lanes. And what that is in different areas they had cyclone fence put up. So you see these cyclone fences here, and these would sort of continue all along, and they'd have different areas blocked off. So where no building could occur, and then on the other side of that perhaps there's a different builder or something like that, and someone else's building. So here in Burby Street, up on the top of Box Hill, you can see that right here. So you see the line of the cyclone fence. Right across the road we've got a very different, distinctly different line on the bitumen, where one side was getting used a hell of a lot and the other side was cut off. So this side down here is all pretty much done bar the last 3 or 4 streets, and then this fence would have closed this section off, and it's much darker over here, and that's why, because what we see over here is the area where we've got all our lots, we've got all our little white pickets with the pink markers. You can just see those if I zoom in. So they're indicating all the new lots where construction will happen, and that's why this road is still nice and dark, because this hasn't been used very much until recently, I'd say, when this cyclone fence was all opened up and you see just haphazardly thrown on the ground. So up here at the top of George Street and the intersection with Terry Road, so Terry Road's one of the main roads through here, you can literally see a suburb taking shape. There we go, we've got the footpath only just being put down, and they're thinking ahead, so they've got a decent sized footpath here, a bit thicker there, retaining some of their parkland, which is good. But yeah, literally you see those things that you take for granted and you think, oh, that footpath has been there for 100 years or longer in lots of parts of Sydney. Here it is literally starting to make the creep down the hill. It only goes that far, and then it's kind of little bits and pieces have been done, and soon this street will take shape. So just a little bit more insight in the very different construction styles that we're seeing out here. I noticed a lot more of those stone facades are starting to go in on houses, so that's one thing that's changing. It's also really common practice to use these foam blocks with the metal formwork before the concrete pours. So I just climb up to that. Yeah, I think most of the newer houses, that's what their foundations look like, or the lowest part. And one of the things that is kind of surreal, and you've seen it for like decades out here, especially in the northwest of Sydney, is the property that for whatever reason either hasn't sold or hasn't been developed. So that one house that has been here for decades, and it's sitting here kind of at odds with everything else going on around it. I just always find that fascinating. And here we kind of got a section where the old meets the new. So even though you can run down this road and there's a footpath, the cyclone fence is still up there, so blocking it off to cars, and people use it as a parking area. We've got this waterway which has been all landscaped, but on the other side, that's everything that's finished on that side of the road here in Box Hill. And just coming down, so you see that the other end of this road is cyclone fenced off as well, and then from there the construction has not just started, but that bit again has kind of pretty much finished, but we've still got vacant lots sitting in this area here. I think this kind of puts the changes in the area in perspective. So I'm at the corner of Monmouth Drive and Pampa Road, and occasionally you might have heard all the sheep in the background. Well, here they are. So got some in that little paddock over there, more just in a separate paddock just behind them there. I can see a few more over here. So it's, yeah, the real mix, the old, the new, what the area was, what it's becoming. And then you've got that gap. I think that's always going to exist, because you can see how wet it is down there. I do kind of worry what will happen the next time we have decent flooding here, because I remember jogging through this area years ago, and yeah, if you tried to cut across some of these paddocks, like, it's just so boggy. So yeah, when it rains, this area does catch the water, or traditionally has. I just hope that some of these houses aren't built in an area that's too low lying, Yeah, that might be a prophetic statement in years to come, we'll see. But then yeah, so you've got that gap, and then on the other side you get all the construction that's occurred the other side of this gap that exists at the moment. So whether this will stay or not, I don't know. I hope it does, because it's like the lowest point, so I think it needs to, but we shall see. So I'm now on the other side of that block on Terry Road. So there's the creek. It's been all landscaped. But you just see how different it is. It's beautiful over here. It's all landscaped, everything's finished. Looks really good. So it really doesn't take long before these suburbs come into their own, and houses are gorgeous too. Some really, really, really nice houses. But again, interesting, just so much different architecture, and I think it's a great thing. That whether that was by accident or design, you're getting lots of different styles side by side. So the suburb's not going to collectively date as others do, and some for the better and some for the worse. But I think it's really good. It gives it variety, it gives it character. So that's a great thing. But yeah, as you can see, some really nice houses. Very, very nice houses. And if you're a runner, Box Hill's good if you're trying to get some hill training too. It's not just a hill by name. It's not like Mount Druitt where there's no mountain inside of the place. Here, you might not get the sense of the gradient, but there's some pretty good hills. Some pretty good hills. This is a pretty interesting feature up here on Newmarket Parkway. Not exactly sure what it is. It's got the floodway signs on the fencing, but if I pop the camera over, I don't really know I'd want to be living next to that. Yeah, so I'm guessing it's just some kind of stormwater catchment. Boy, it's deep. So, after a little adventure in Box Hill this morning, we come back out of all the new builds and the finished part, and we hit the end of the road. There it is. So one of those areas where the cyclone fence is still well and truly chained up. There's no access, no entry. It's pretty clear. And but over the other side, what do we see? Streets, gutters, paths, street signs, everything ready to go. A suburb that's all there, all the lot markers are there, but no building yet. So when we talk about that change in Sydney, and that change particularly in northwestern Sydney, there it is. This is one of the next areas that'll just get completely transformed. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the tour of Box Hill. Take care, adventurers.